There's something called unsolicited advice, and there's something that somebody wrote. I don't know anything about who wrote it. It's on www.minimalismmadesimple.com, and one of the things that it says is be polite but firm in the refusal of their advice. I want to bring that up because many times somebody isn't telling you why they're telling you to do something, and they're not disclosing what they're actually up to. And that basically, if your gut is telling you to say no thanks, or just ignore what they're saying, then do that. Another thing is to find out information about the advice that they're given, and be honest. People can be honest as to why they don't want to hear the advice that somebody's given them. Could end up explaining why their idea won't work in the situation. That only deals with just 11 ways to handle it. I'm going to give an example of unsolicited advice. And that's part of the reason why I have just a very nasty taste in my mouth dealing with the so-called mental health professionals. That they've never there's an Indian proverb, but basically don't tell me what to do until you've walked 2 moons in my moccasins, something like that. But getting back to stuff, there was a so-called mental health professional that was telling me that I needed to sell X, Y, and Z, otherwise blah 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 blah. And what it is the so-called mental health professional just didn't didn't even disclose to me that the amount or the degree of danger that I was in from being with somebody who was abusive, was manipulative, was cold-hearted, was somebody who was vampiric, somebody who was harming me, and all that kind of stuff. All I'm getting at is some of the so-called mental health professionals, and even the ones that studied some area like psychology or something in the mental health area, but most definitely did not go into it in order to be helpful to people. I could give many examples of that. I really mean that, and that's what's scary. Don't assume that because somebody is in a helping profession that they went into it to help people. That many times what they do is that they go into certain professions in order to be predators. I could give example after example after example of where I have firsthand knowledge of that phenomenon. Oh, most definitely, and even the ones in 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 uh uh in the area of education. Oh, most definitely. Um, what's really sad is that some of the ones in the area of education went there in order to basically inflict pain upon people and to be as controlling as possible. I walked into a school and was talking to a teacher, and I said, "Good morning." And an elementary school teacher said, "What's good about it?" And I was like, it just was like, what a toxic personality. I mean, I didn't like being around that teacher, and the men and women that were in her class couldn't stand her either. And I've seen some of the ones that had, what is it, doctorate degree in education use a what is it called, a gang mentality, and literally had students in a class gang up on somebody in order for whoever it was to change their behavior. And I was like, crap. I mean, it just was like, I've seen some really, and another example is well, and there's something called grandiose narcissism. I mean, I don't even have enough fingers and toes to go into the ones that have bragged about how smart they are. I was like, it's almost like the level of grandiose narcissism increases the prevalence of cold heartedness. Which also deals with what I have seen over and over again is grandiose narcissists hang out with grandiose narcissists, and they minimize their cockiness and having good grades, and they think that that's what life is about. That might be what life is about to them, but I think that healthy people um, don't base their self worth on what grades they get on a piece of paper. Basically, it's somebody else's opinion. I remember there was an assignment that I had to do dealing with when I'm 99 years old, and I immediately changed the and I wrote, when I am 99 years young, I am going to, which I think a lot of it deals with people's mindset. In fact, there was a study dealing with people who had cancer who were told to draw pictures of the cancer cells and the pictures of the healthy cells, and they showed that the people that drew the healthy cells as being bigger had a higher chance of uh, uh, of uh, of of not being killed through the cancer or the cancer treatments. I had a medical doctor tell me that I had to have one of my organs out, and I said, no, I don't. And they looked at me, and I said, God gave me that organ, I intend on keeping it. That's been about 5 years ago. Four or five, I don't remember exactly when. I was told that I had to have certain glands out. I'm like, no, I don't want them out. It was in order for me to be able to, what they call it, adenoids or whatever. And like, if it's just kind of like, I was born with adenoids, why would I want to have them taken out? It wasn't a medical necessity. It was more or less for to change the way that I talk is what it boiled down to. And then I was told that I could take speech classes and yada yada yada, and it's like, I don't want to take speech classes. I mean, I remember one of the most abusive thugs I was around. Don't, and his family telling me that I should take, that I should do this and I should do that and all that kind of stuff. And I just got so tired of their put downs and their emotional and physical abuse. And I looked at his father. I said, at least when I tell the dog to get out of the house, the dog listens to me. He was busy telling dog to get out of the house and all that kind of stuff. And I just was like, what a crock of shit. He was also a surgeon. And I bring that up because of Kevin Dutton's work on in writing about the 10 professions that psychopaths tend to go into. But just because psychopaths tend to go into a certain profession does not mean that everybody in a certain profession is a psychopath. There are some that I just am like, it's like, so, some professions, it's like the only thing I've seen in them are psychopaths, as well as narcissists, and uh, I'm not, I'm not going to go into which ones they are, but all I'm getting at is, so many times the unsolicited advice that somebody has given me is without them actually disclosing what they were up to. And what they were doing was extremely malevolent. Extremely malevolent. And basically detrimental to me. Most definitely detrimental to me. Which also deals with, I can't even tell you how many of the, whatever they are, that I have firsthand knowledge of, that just absolutely have no regard for 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 me or people like me. No regard, no remorse for what they do. For people like me who are out there, never give up. It's like the ones who aren't like us are on a mission from hell to destroy as many people's lives as they can. Never give up. That's the reason why, I've talked about never give the devil a touchdown.